but you are watching Primary Catchup. And today we are at the Dow Academy Momu 3D.
Hello, boys and girls. My name is Mr. Nshindano. I'm your teacher for Standard 6, and our topic today will be talking about water. Before we go any further, in this topic, I want you to achieve 3 things, and those are going to be our objectives. So our objectives are, by the end of this lesson, you should be able to classify substances as soluble or insoluble in water. You should be able to investigate the effect of temperature, particle size, and stirring on dissolving. And the third that you must achieve is describe a saturated solution. So, boys and girls, water is very, very important. In Standard 5, we said water has got many properties and many uses. Imagine, boys and girls, staying at home without any water. What would happen? Is there anybody who has stayed the whole day without drinking water? I don't think so. So water is very, very important. And we have got many uses of water. What do you think? Give me one. Yes, if you said it is used for cooking, that's perfect. Any other? If you said it is used for bathing, that's right. Any other? Good. If you said it can be used for watering our plants, that's good. And we have got one more important use of water. Water can also be used to dissolve things. And that is what we are going to look at today. Dissolving things in water. So, boys and girls, we are going to look at dissolving substances in water. Now, before we move on, boys and girls, there are certain things that dissolve in water, and there are also certain things that do not dissolve in water. Let's look at these two. The substances that dissolve in water are called soluble. Substances that dissolve in water are called soluble. And there are also substances that do not dissolve in water. These substances are called insoluble. These are the 2 words that we are going to be using today. We are going to be using soluble and insoluble. Now, with me here, I've got a few things. We want to investigate which one is going to dissolve in water and which one is not going to dissolve in water. I'll start with sand. What do you think, boys and girls? Do you think sand can dissolve in water? Let's see. I don't know, but we shall see at the end because we want to investigate I'll get my water and put in my container. I'll put water in all my containers. And then I'll be adding the substances that we are going to have. Right. I'm going to start with sand. Let me put sand in this container here, and I'm going to stir. Ooh, what can you see, boys and girls? Ooh. I still have some sand in this container. I still have some sand, as you can see, in this container. So what has happened? What do you think about sand? Does sand dissolve or it doesn't dissolve? And I also have cooking oil. Boys and girls, what do you think about cooking oil? Cooking oil, does it dissolve or it doesn't dissolve? I'm going to put cooking oil in this container. Wow. And I'm going to stir. As you can see, when I stir, I stir, I stir. Wow. What can you observe? What can you see? We are going to come back to this. I have sugar, the best thing in our homes. It doesn't miss. Some of us, we like sugar so much, but it is not good for your teeth. You know why? Your teeth will get rotten. Right. I'm going to use sugar and put in the third container. I'm stirring. I'm stirring. Oh. My sugar has disappeared. My sugar has disappeared. What do you think? We'll be coming back to our sugar. Then I also have a bit of maize meal. Maize meal. I put maize meal and stir, stir, stir. Right, boys and girls, as you can see, we started with our sand. When you look at this sand or soil in this solution, there is soil or sand down there. It means it has not dissolved. When we look at the cooking oil has come on top. Unlike in the soil has settled down, the cooking oil has come on top. What do you think could be the reason? The reason is simple. Cooking oil is lighter than soil. So, the materials or the substances that are lighter, they come on top, while the materials that are heavy, they sink. Right, boys and girls? Then we have sugar. I can't see any sugar in here. So where has it gone? Do you think sugar has moved out of this container? No, sugar is still there. But what has happened to this sugar? This sugar has dissolved. The sugar has dissolved. So, sugar in this case is soluble. Sugar in this case is soluble. And the sand is insoluble. So, sugar is able to dissolve and sand is unable to dissolve. So things that dissolve like sugar are called soluble substances. And things like soil are insoluble because they are unable to dissolve in water. Are we together, boys and girls? I hope you are enjoying our lesson. So, the substances that we have that have dissolved, we have our sugar and water. Sugar plus water, we have a solution. Sugar is able to dissolve in water and it is called a solute. While water is called a solvent. So what is a solvent? A solvent is any material or a substance that dissolves another material, while the substance that dissolves into a solvent is called a solute. Are we together, boys and girls? Okay, so our sugar is a solvent, is a solute, and water is a solvent. They make what we call a solution. This solution is sweet. If we test it, we are going to test the solution that is very, very sweet. Dissolving depends on 3 factors, and we are going to investigate these 3 factors. 1, we are going to investigate what is the effect of temperature on dissolving substances. 2, what is the effect of stirring on dissolving substances? 3, what is the effect of temperature on the dissolving of substances? If I'm making a cup of tea and Karabo is also making a cup of tea, let's say Karabo is using cold water and I'm using hot water, where do you think the dissolving is going to be faster? If you said the one with the hot water, then you are correct. So, dissolving depends on temperature. One, if you have got a hot water, our dissolving is going to be faster as compared to someone who has used cold water. Okay, boys and girls. All right. Now, let's look at the particle size. This sugar, the particles are quite big or are quite large. Okay? Now, I'll try to crush them. I'm crushing the sugar so that I make it fine, or I reduce the particles so that the particles are very, very small. These particles have become very, very small. If I put them in water, they are going to dissolve faster as compared to the particles that are large, like these ones here. These particles are large, and the ones that I have here are quite small. So, these particles, because they are large, they will take longer to dissolve. The particles that are fine, that I've just crushed, will be faster to dissolve. All right, boys and girls, we can have more at home. Try to experiment. Are you able to dissolve some items? Are you able not to dissolve some items? Yes, I want you to try this at home. What if you tried baking powder? What would happen? Baking powder. What would happen? You put baking powder into a solvent. What do you think is going to happen? Is it going to dissolve or it is not going to dissolve? All right, boys and girls. Now, I'm about to give you an exercise that we are going to try from what we have talked about. So we have looked at the three factors. We have looked at temperature. We have looked at the stirring. We have also looked at this particle size. Right, here is your exercise. Number 1, make a list of 4 substances. Make a list of 4 substances that dissolve in water, and 4 substances that do not dissolve All right. This is your task for today. Make a list of four substances that dissolve in water and four substances that do not dissolve in water. And the next question, number 2, name 2 factors that influence solubility. 2 factors that influence solubility of sugar in water. Sugar in water. All right, boys and girls, this is your exercise that you are going to enjoy at home. I hope mommy or daddy or your friend will be able to help you where you're going to find problems. Okay, thank you and stay safe, stay learning.